Hey guys, so it's another Hero Shop video, and this time around, I was planning not to do this because I already made a video of this specific selection as in the past. However, believe it or not, people continue to ask me about these questions. Even in my own guild, I post my videos in my own guild, and somebody's still asking about this. So clearly, we need to make this every single time. It doesn't matter if we repeat it. So let's go over every single one of these guys. Cathbad. When the game was released, she was one of the most powerful heroes in the entire freaking game. Then Palmyra came in and everything came down with Cathbad. Even with her weapon Awaken at +3, I haven't seen anybody use Cathbad for a very, 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 very long time. So at this moment, I cannot recommend you to get Cathbad. Simple as that. And her awakenings, if you already have her, you're wondering if her awakenings are any good or not. At +0 up until +5, there is a little bit of difference with her awakenings, but it's not a big difference. Like 30 attack defense is nothing. 10% attack and defense is relevant in certain very few fights. And then 30% attack, I mean, any weapon can give you this, so yeah, that's not so super crazy. Cathbad is as good as she is, even at +0 in my opinion. However, her Weapon Awakening does give her a really big boost, like dodging and all that good stuff, especially in her +2. Her +3 isn't so good, in my opinion, so if you really, really love Cathbad, and you really, really, really want to get this hero as high as possible, you can get her weapon up until +2. That's the best in that situation. The best situation that you actually see her fighting is versus an Alden and all the stones shooting at her and she counterattacking every single one of them. That will destroy that team, but nobody uses Alden on the attack on PvP in that situation. And she is not a good hero versus bosses and PvE in that situation. So in other words, not PvP versus player. So if you really want this hero, you can get her, but I do not recommend you to get it in that situation because she has gone down so much ever since she was released. So yeah, maybe in the future she'll be buffed or not, but I don't know. Anyhow, I don't recommend it. Midas, on the other hand, is a pretty decent hero. Every single when the game started, he was a monster of a hero. Even his freaking attack, his freaking axe attack with her skill did so much damage. I was like, what? when I started to play the game, I was like, I gotta get this hero, man. However, honestly, I haven't seen anybody using Midas at current time, 2025, by the way. Happy New Year. I haven't seen anybody using Midas anymore because there's been so many powerful heroes out there in that situation. And Midas has been offered so many times in the shop that I doubt that anybody doesn't have Midas. But he is a decent hero. He does create a good amount of shields. He is fast, so you will be able to actually equip an energy weapon like the whip which is Darisa's weapon. So he has his uses. If you're starting off the game, if you're free to play, he's gonna be very useful in that case. And he also has his Weapon Awakening. Weapon Awakenings pretty much turns him into a very fast shield creator that gives overload, and specifically versus targets that have damage share. Those teams with damage share are gonna get this overload all over the place. So that is really freaking useful versus those teams. Do take that into account. So this is a nice awakening for him for sure. Now for his by the way, awakening for this weapon. So awakening per se for the hero, his awakenings are fine. I mean, you get more HP, a little bit more stats, and the +5 gives you more defense. So it's decent, but it's not like groundbreaking, like crazy awakenings and things like that. But yeah, in general, I wouldn't say that Midas is useless. He does have his uses, but he's definitely not a priority hero. I don't recommend you to focus all of your resources, everything on Midas, because Midas has sadly not been used lately in that situation. But he's still a decent hero. If you're free, as I say, if you're free to play or starting off the game, he's an awesome option for yellow in general. An excellent whip holder if you don't have any better options. So that's Midas. And last, but should have started with Elmas. Elmas, ever since this game has started, Elmas has been an absolute monster of a hero. And up until this day, it's very, very, very hard to find a purple team that does not have Elmas. That's how important, incredibly... I mean, you can't... At this point, you can't play purple without Elmas. That's what I'm getting at. So he's one of the most essential heroes for purple in the entire freaking game. It doesn't matter if he's +0. It doesn't matter if he's +5. The ability to dispel and turn every single buff that he dispels into stones and adds additional stones on top of that. That is a super powerful ability that synergizes with everything that purple does. So yeah, do not ignore Elmas to your own peril, guys, for sure. And his awakenings for his weapon is amazing. And by the way, they did update the actual healing for lifesteal. Lifesteal in the past was not considered healing. So, and healing is that you lose life and then you gain the life back. So that's what's going to activate his weapon here. And that's a training. And this that's 3 times. So Elmas is going to go off a lot if he's able to actually receive damage and heal himself with lifesteal. So in other words, what I'm getting at, now your actual lifesteal activates this weapon when he actually does damage. And that's going to activate his mana gain by 345. That's 135% mana gain. That's going to make him a fast hero. So pretty much in that's what I'm getting at. And besides, he's going to get shields. He's going to get cleansing. He's going to get immortality with his weapon awakening. So this is a weapon awakening that I definitely recommend you to upgrade up until the highest, awaken +3. Because this is a hero that you're going to use a lot in the game. My God, you're never gonna stop using Elmas, and I have not seen any hero that could replace him. Like completely, no. There's no hero that can replace Elmas. Maybe you could use Director End up to a certain point, but you're gonna need the dispelling. You're gonna need the extra stones to complete the actual filling of mana for your team in that situation. So, in other words, if you don't have Elmas, get him. Get him. There's no excuses. You have to get Elmas. And this is a decent price, 4,300 for a freaking monster of a hero. Yeah, that's a very good option. All right, so for level 2, which is higher pricing here, is for Cathbad. I mean, Cathbad, like some heroes of the old. Well, I would say that most of the old heroes are useless, but Cathbad is not one of those heroes. He's a fast hero, even a +0 versus damage share. He has the ability to possibly turn into mushrooms every single hero in the entire freaking team. That is priceless. It doesn't matter. The only weakness that he has is enemies that have a lot of shields, because heroes with shields are going to be shroomed less than heroes that do not have shields. And in this meta right now in PvP, everyone is pretty much using shields everywhere. So that's gonna make Midas seem more useless, but that is not gonna take away his power, because you are gonna use other heroes to eliminate shields, prevent shields, break shields, and then activate Cathbad and shroom them and have a big advantage to actually win the fight in that situation. So, and he creates stones, and he's a fast hero, and his awakenings, unlike other heroes that are from the old, actually his +1 is nah, his +3 is also nah. It's pretty much the same as Midas. However, his +5, this oh my God, this makes him so fast. It's not even funny. At the point that when he gets skill up to 50, he's gonna be faster than very fast at that point. So yeah, that is super freaking relevant, especially on defense. You slap him like a shield weapon, that when you activate the weapon, you create shields. He's gonna be very hard to take down, and he's always gonna start healing. He's always gonna start shrooming. He's always gonna go off over and over and over. It's a very powerful interaction. I haven't seen him very much used lately on defense, on the attack, but don't underestimate Cathbad. He's a monster of a hero. even at plus freaking 0. His weapon, I do not recommend you should get his weapon. His weapon does stacks and does a lot of normal attack damage, unless you intend to defeat your enemy with a lot of stones from the board. And most of the heroes that you have on your team also have weapons that are similar to this one that actually raise the amount of normal attack damage. In that respect, you can try to use this weapon. In that team to use stones, but I can recommend you to actually invest actual resources to actually get this weapon. You can get a lot more better weapons like energy weapon. He's amazing with that. The weapon for Percival, it's an amazing weapon to protect him. You can even give him Fiona's weapons to make him even faster than what he's already getting. Yeah, if you get him, you gotta get him to +5. Just like every single hero that I'm saying here, most likely you'll be able to get them to +5 through events, so it's a really nice investment to get these. And Cathbad is a very, very, very good investment for sure. Just make sure to break the shields, prevent the shields, wipe the shield. The green has a lot of ways to eliminate shields. Just use that, and you can use Cathbad and destroy your enemy there. Now, Soer, my old friend. Back in the day, Soer, when he was released, he would do so much damage. It's not even funny. However, these days, I have not seen anyone use Soer anymore. I mean, he is slow. That's the biggest problem that he has with his skill. He's a slow hero. And he does do a decent amount of damage. However, the whole ability with him is actually using his debuff, which is Vendor's Mark. And when he actually hits the enemy, he removes the Vendor's Mark and he restores his entire mana again. Which you will be able to actually use it with this hero. Let me show you real quick. If you're starting off the game, you're probably not going to know this hero by name, so I'm going to show you here. Which many players say that she is useless, but she is not if you use Soer. If you really want to use Soer, you have to have Rebecca, because she is a fast hero, and she'll be able to put the Vendor's Mark on the target before Soer goes and actually does it there. So you activate Rebecca first, and then you activate Soer to remove the mark, and then he gains his mana all over again. So that's the big synergy that has Rebecca and him in that situation. So if you really like Soer and you really want to actually use him, you have to get Rebecca as well in that situation. And honestly, Rebecca is not a hard hero to get. She's like everywhere. I mean, she's a plague in that situation. His own weapon is nice, but I don't really recommend you to actually get it in that case. 100% attack is really nice, but you're only pretty much going to use it on him. Maybe you could want to give 50% attack to somebody, but remember, this is luck. 33%. Some fights you may get it all the time. Some fights you're never gonna get it. So you do take that into account. But if you really want to use Soer, probably you're gonna want to give him a shield weapon, because he tends to be extremely squishy. So yeah, that's that. His awakenings are pretty amazing. The +1 is gonna give him like a 70% pretty much attack at some point at the fight. That's gonna give him a lot of attack. Mana gain, and finally he'll be able, with the normal attack, pretty much with the stones, he'll be a 20% chance to put the Vendor's Mark, but this is not so useful. Up until +3 is perfect. I'm pretty sure that you're able to actually get them in events. I'm not really sure. Oh yes, you do. Oh man, it's been so long since I checked if Soer you'll be able to get in events that I totally forgot there. But as I said, most likely all these heroes, including Soer, you'll be able to actually get them in events there. So yeah, that's Soer. As I have warned you, I haven't seen anybody use Soer for a very, very, very long time, but I think that you are able to use him in that situation, but with Rebecca and other weapons in that situation. So if you're not going to give him a shield weapon, make sure that your team has a lot of protection, and yellow does have nice protection in that situation. But again, as I said, I haven't seen a lot of people using Soer, so I don't recommend you to get him. However, if you really love the hero, use him the way that I described it. That's the best way to actually use him. And make sure, maybe putting him next to Naya to actually make sure he doesn't die so quickly and he does his things. That could be nice, but you have to have Naya. Yeah, guys, that's a thing. And last, but certainly not least, is our good old friend Jaku. Jaku brings something in the table that blue needs, wants, and yeah, has to have, and that is shield breaking. There is no not very good shield breakers in the game. Gwendolyn does prevent some shields from being created, but it does take a few stacks to be put there to be able to eliminate the shields and slowly eliminate them in time. But usually when you use Gwendolyn, you want to eliminate the target as soon as possible. And she's not going to eliminate the shields right off the bat. But Jaku is going to destroy the shields right off the bat, starting right now. Breaks the shields and then does the full damage there in that situation. So yeah, he does have his uses. He's a very, very powerful blue hero and a key hero to take out Ymir versus red. Because remember that Ymir in red is the one that revives and gives shields with her realm and all that stuff. But that shield is a special shield that prevents extra damage from blue in that situation. So yeah, you actually need something to break the shields, and Jaku does do that very, very well. I've seen it many times, especially with the new heroes that actually prevent your entire blue team from dying pretty much versus red. But you do need a way to actually punch in and destroy those shields and do the damage and kill Ymir. And Jaku, I've seen it many times. He does a very, very, very good job in actually doing that. So yeah, he's a very powerful blue hero. Do not underestimate him. However, he does have one weakness, and that is he's incredibly squishy. So make sure to put him next to a hero that will protect him. I usually put him next to Gunnulf and his damage share, so that way he'll be able to survive a lot more. And obviously, if he's so squishy, you're going to want to put a shield weapon, but I personally don't put a shield weapon because his offensive abilities are so crucial that I decide to actually use Lupita's weapon, which gives him a 60% crit chance. But his own weapon is an amazing option because his weapon is going to give him a 100% crit chance. So yeah, if you have his weapon, this is a good weapon for him. And I usually I'm not really a fan of weapons that have 33% chance to increase and all that good stuff. However, let me just show you what I'm talking about. Because the thing is that for his where are you? Here we go. For his badges, his badge ability, do not underestimate this guy. Once I actually get him to 9, you will all suffer. So anyway, his feature skills here from badges is crit damage and crit damage. So in other words, he's gonna need to be able to do crit damage. So he's gonna need crit chance. So you do have to put him a weapon that's gonna make him crit. So the first one's gonna get 40% crit damage, and if you get all 9 badges, this is super difficult for me because I only have one line specifically to actually get all 9, and that's gonna be really problematic for me. As you can see, I failed already 1, 2, 3, 4 times there. Anyhow, the ninth one, which is incredibly powerful, is 100% crit damage for 3 turns when dealing critical damage with a skill. So this is the exact same ability, skill, whatever, that Idritha has with her badges. So this is going to be do the exact same effect as Idritha's 9 badges. So that's going to do 100% more damage when he actually crits. And with Blue has the ability to create so many stones and him to go off over and over and over again. So yeah, this is not going to be a problem for him to do the crit chance again. So getting his own weapon is amazing. Lupita's weapon is amazing for him as well. So do not underestimate this hero and especially if you get him to the 9 5-star badges, he's going to be an absolute monster. And as I already mentioned, you're able to get Jaku from events, pretty much paying the $10 there, as you can see there. So you can get them to +5 as well. So yeah, all these options are super amazing. So out of all these 3, I mean, I'm gonna help you out. Which one should you focus on? And I would say from all these 3, if you don't have Elmas, you got to get Elmas. I mean, that there's no question about that, for sure. That's for sure. And the second option from those 3 is going to be Jaku. I mean, Jaku may be squishy, but he is such an incredibly and powerful, useful hero in blue to actually break through shields and eliminate the enemy that I cannot ignore him. There are some blue teams that don't use Jaku, probably because they have Gwendolyn, but outside of that, yeah, Jaku is really a freaking amazing hero to choose. He's a game ender, a game opener to actually beat the enemy, and that is very important to know. I chose for as the last option Cathbad because there's so many freaking heroes right now that are in the meta that create shields or have a shield weapon on them to protect them. So he has been shooting less, but that doesn't mean he's a bad hero. You will, if you break the shields, cleanse the shields, you'll be able to do a lot of things in that situation. On the attack, on defense, not in PvE in that situation. Maybe in some fights versus mobs and things like that, you can shoom them and make them, you know, in that situation. But there's so many that are immune to that. So, yeah, those are my 3 options. Number 1, Elmis. Number 2, Jaku. And number 3, Cathbad. Whew! Made it a little different this time, guys. Alright, guys, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, please leave it in the comments and we'll talk about it. Alright? Thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.